No matter what condition the neighbor, you could live in a shack, the neighbor could live in a palace.
Correct.
But your child don't go to the neighbor and expect to get the secrets of her family from her neighbor.
Right.
She gets them from her home, be it a shack or be it a palace. You have to start with home because that's where you get it. Whatever is meant for you, you have to get it first from home. And in this case, we're speaking of your spiritual home. So you connect first back with your ancestors. We have a tradition called the Mama Chamba. The Mama Chamba dates all the way back. It's over 2,000 years old. When the temple of Awusa in Mecca, Islam, was destroyed. And they were forced. They were either slaughtered or many of them were forced. Because this was many African tribes, groups. It wasn't just one group. And now most of them are West. In the Vodoun religion, there's the Mama Chamba. It goes all the way back to Islam, ancient Islam. These ancestors. And they are the ancestors of the children. They're the first group of the ancestors of the children who take in those who have been enslaved. See, there's an order in a divine universe. And so if your ancestors were enslaved, they are subsumed back into the Mama Chamba. When you have the Mama Chamba ceremony, then your ancestors from the Mama Chamba come with you. And they are enshrined with you. And so it's a process. So we have to learn the cosmology, the esoteric nature. We have to understand that knowledge that we lost on how things work. It's not just any old kind of way.
Right.
Mama Chamba could be learned name different in all the traditions that we have. But in ours, the name is Mama Chamba, but the divine concept is the same. For the diaspora is Mama Chamba. Many of you came over here already Mama Chamba. Why? Because your ancestors, your DNA and your blood didn't start when the Europeans came and got you from West Africa.
Right.
It began all the way to the east. Those ancestors are still with you. They're still with you. And so you have many Africans here, many, who are Mama Chamba already before they got here. So it's that knowledge that you need. You don't need to invent like the Western woman does. Some theology and some rituals, from a book to connect with the Divine Mother, whatever that means to them. What you need is to connect, and don't forget, and see, we think of ancestors, we think about, well, I didn't know my father, he was no good. I didn't know my mother, she didn't treat me right, whatever. See, we tend to think of the immediate ones. Get that there's a whole slew that comes before them, and they were nothing like them.
Right.
Okay? And you got to look at the circumstances that made those immediate ones who they were, where they wasn't emotionally and spiritually accessible to you like they should have been. They got to account too.
Right.
Okay? Because those are their mothers and fathers. They got to answer for that. So you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Most of us don't like to think of our family, because we've been hurt or whatever by the immediate. But those are not who you think about. You think about all those ancient ones who are with you, who got them in check. We're rooted like that, divinely. There's no other roads. There is no other roads. We didn't get here through no other roads but through them.
That's true.
And we got to fix what was broken. And then we have to take the gifts, whatever they may be, divine or otherwise, take our marching orders and do our job.
Yes. I want to thank you again, Mother, for taking your time out doing the interview. I truly think that this is a great honor. And I know the women that listen to my interviews are, just ecstatic, and especially when an elder mother speaks. It's just, there's no words. When the crones speak, you just listen. So I want to thank you, and I'm going to put up links to Lulu.com, and if people, in the search box, put Mami Wata, MamiWata, your books come up. I also am going to put up your website, and the website is just loaded with information. It's MamiWata.com, MamiWata, and I just want to also thank you for putting up and showing us that awesome megalith of Artemis. In all of my studies, I hadn't even came across that picture. The African features of Artemis, what people call Diana, is undeniable. It is, and I'm glad that you put the picture up, and I'm glad you got the other pre-Grecian Afro-Minoan picture up there, because another sister told me that, the Minoans was Greek, but I'm glad you got this picture all up here on your front page as well.
It's been an academic battle from the start, because there's a popular book out there on the so-called goddess, and it's a pretty big book, and it's very Eurocentric, and I saw Euro images of Artemis and Euro images of the Mycenae, and as I dug deeper, and I had to, it was very costly research, because I had to get information from all over the world. Even that image you have there came directly from Greece. Because I was determined. I knew that they were showing, I knew that was not true. But be that as it may, what I did uncover was that during that time when they were taking our history, they would deliberately create fraudulent images. This has been pervasive throughout, and make them European-like, to give the Western woman a presence in ancient history when she didn't have one. And so when you study these, and I found it, and they were just recently, Nefertiti, they finally admitted that bust was a fraud. And so this is very, very, well, I mean, it's done even now. We're watching it, but we don't see it as they subsume our culture, and that those aspects that they like all of a sudden become very American. Those aspects that they don't like stays to the black community. Images and dances and food and everything. And so this is a consistent pattern for them all throughout history, and we have to take note of that. But I could not let them no longer get away with that. I've been in academia. I worked in the universities, and it was disheartening to see black, educated, intelligent professors, female, giving classes on feminism and didn't have a clue where they fit in.
Wow. Oh, man.
And subsuming this very Eurocentric Western feminine theology, when in reality she's not accepted in those movements, not as an equal partner.
And that's interesting you said that, because we had a conversation, I and some other sisters, the other day on feminism, and it's interesting you say that, because a lot of the black feminists are Christian, and for me, because I'm more pagan, it's just amazing to me that even when I have conversations with them, I don't see how they are so-called pro-black, but they're still Christian. And then when I talk to the white feminists, they're talking about goddess, goddess, goddess.
Right, they're pagan, but that's no different from the Eurocentric male scholars. Most of them don't practice an African traditional religion either. They stay Christian, or they stay with the white Arab Muslim, Islam tradition.
Wow.
And so our heads are filled with a lot of archaeological history, but we're still disconnected from our ancestors and our spirits. So therefore, we're still lost.
Right.
And so I pray, and I'm optimistic because this next generation, especially what they're about to go through with this globalism, will be in enough stress and pain that they won't care what others think. And why should you? No other group has a problem being who they claim to be but us. And yet, you are the source of everything. You are the source of everything. You are. You have to believe that. And if this earth is destroyed, one of you all will be left.